Lord's angry. Who could tell the difference?
Master,
Hope you'll stay for
Yes,
We
Szenac.
could certainly use the business.
Never mind, it's nothing.
What is it, Szenac?
I don't wish to be disrespectful.
I will be the judge of that. What is it?
Well, do you still think of her?
Every moment of every day, Szenac. Every moment of every day. What brought this on?
I don't know. I was in the market this morning, and there was a woman's perfume on the air. I guess it just reminded me of her. But it started me thinking. You don't talk of her much, and you never seem angry that she is gone.
You just don't understand.
No.
Anger, Szenac, will not bring her body back to life. But why do you think she is gone?
Don't patronize me. She is gone, and it just seems so unfair. When I think of it, it just makes me so mad.
She would be touched by your sentiment. But again I ask, why do you think she is gone? Do you not feel her with us when we eat? Can you not feel her around you when you work? Do you not hear her whispering in your ear? After all, were you not reminded of her just today?
But it was not her.
Are you sure?
What do you mean? Sure of what?
That it was not her, of course. Listen to me, Szenac. Every day when I wake up, I speak to her. Good morning, Ilanesh, I say. And every night I say good night. When I work the fire and the metal, I feel her guide me. Her heart beats with every pump of the bellows. I see her in every wisp of smoke, every flicker of flame. The sulphurous, salty taste in the air is like the sweat upon her neck. And in the supple leather, I feel the smoothness of her cheek, the delicate softness of her perfect ears, and the tenderness of her lips. Tell me, Szenac, what do you think of my work?
It is beyond compare.
And why is that, do you think? No, I will tell you. It is because Ilanesh has been and still is in everything I do, and because she is there, my work is a labor of love. I do not work the metal, I move with it. I do not etch the scroll work in a finished piece. I caress it. It's a dance. I am so focused on my work, Szenac, because I cherish every moment I get to spend with her. You still do not understand, and there are reasons for that. One is because of the many years Ilanesh and I have been together. But the biggest reason, Szenac, is because you are angry. You must calm yourself, Szenac. You must learn to dance. For example, that piece you are currently working. I can tell by how it reacts to your hammer that you have overworked it. You will have to start over. You poured all of your frustration and anger into it, and now it is ruined. Had you moved with it, danced with it, instead of trying to force yourself upon it, it would be ready for the next step. You don't believe me? Look at it closely and tell me, what do you see?
I see nothing.
Look.
Master, there is nothing wrong with...
Yes?
There's a crack.
In time, Szenac, it will make sense. Now, throw that in with the scrap and start over. But this time, find something within you that moves you, something that touches your heart and brings you happiness and warmth, and focus on it. Let it become the source of your strength. Do this, and before long, I promise you, there will be no more anger, only calm, only passion.
Hello and welcome. My name is Joe, and I am the Panicked Monk, and you are watching Lost in Time, a Dwemer's Tale. If you are familiar with the area, you know that we are very close to Kagranzel. It's actually just up the hill. And we have run into a whole slew of danger. There is this person who we actually were able to avoid completely. When Szenac came up towards the camp, he immediately went to the right. He wasn't going to go into the camp. He wasn't in the mood for any kind of confrontation, even not knowing that the person was potentially hostile. Even if they were friendly, he wasn't going to go into the camp. He was not in the mindset to do a meet and greet, if you will. So he went up, avoided that person, which turned out to probably be a good thing, and then immediately ran into the spider. Spider is not a huge deal, but in kind of moving about with the spider, I gave several trolls, 3 in total, plenty of time to come and investigate what kind of racket was going on. So Szenac does not have a great deal of health. I do not put a lot of points in health. I go, here's the breakdown. So I will go, for every level, I will spend a point in stamina, a point in magicka, and then a point in stamina, and then a point in magicka, and then a point in health. So basically every 5th level, he is getting 1 point of health, or, a dedicated level into health. So it is not where his strength is. He can't take a lot of damage. So going head to head with a troll in melee, even if he gets a couple good licks in, even if he can bash and stagger the troll only needs 1 or 2 swipes, even just 1 shot if they have a really good attack, and it will bring him down. So Szenac avoids those kind of conflicts, and since he does not have any ranged weapon, that is, he doesn't carry a bow or a crossbow or anything like that, he relies heavily on his conjurations. That's his strength, that's his go-to, and he uses them to his advantage. I mean, that's what it's for, right? Conjure a creature to aid you in combat, conjure them to draw your opponents away, and so that's what he does, and lets his conjured beings take care of the opponents for him. That keeps him safe and allows him to survey kind of what's going on a little bit better, knowing that he's not going to be in immediate danger. So he danced around on this ruin here a little bit, knowing that the trolls weren't going to follow him around on it. So he was able to use it as kind of a base of operations to survey the field and lay down his conjurations as needed. And if he had a good shot, he went towards the lightning and the sparks there towards the end, so he'll supplement the conjurations if he feels he can do so. But overall, he is a conjurer. He's a conjurer, one-handed, sword and board, shield, sword. Not really a spell sword, because his magic is not, it's not geared towards destruction outside of shock spells, so that is what he does. Alright. He is getting close to Kagranzel. He obviously knows where Kagranzel is, so he is going to make his way up. And since he ran into such resistance with the trolls and, you know, spider, a wolf earlier on the trail, but, you know, that's to be expected out in the wooded areas, he's gonna bring a flame atronach with him, knowing that it's probably got the best attack against any frost trolls that might still remain up here. So, and maybe we can take a second or two to talk about his little flashback. We started out the episode with a flashback, a memory of a conversation he had held with Inadak, his master, and a conversation they had about Inadak's deceased wife. And every so often, Szenac will recall these conversations, these little tidbits of wisdom that helps him to try to make sense of kind of what's going on around him. I guess, you know, that's no different than what anyone does when they're trying to make sense of things, or just, you know, just thinking. Szenac does the same thing. Oh. Okay, there's one more up here. Good heavens. I mean, seriously. A total of 4 frost trolls in this small area. That's... for someone of Szenac's fragile health, that's kind of wicked deadly. So, let's see what this thing can do. Hopefully it can stay out of range, and we can stay out of range. We do have, in fact, a mission to complete here. So, anyway, Szenac had started thinking about this conversation he had with Inadak, and, you know, trying to understand, trying to cope with the concept of a mother he never knew. A mother has come back from, you know, the spirit world, from the dead. And what does it all mean? And so the best thing he has to work with to try to cope with that is this conversation he remembers having with his forge master, Inadak, who seemed to take the death of his wife very much in stride. And it's something that Szenac just could not understand. So they had this conversation, and I think it lends a lot to what Szenac needs to consider on how to deal with his own realizations as of late. So that's kind of what triggered that, you know, just a coping mechanism, a way to deal with all this new information that he's gotten in such a short period of time.
I am Falmer, the bastard son of a slave. But what does that mean? If it means anything at all. What it means, Szenac, is that you are half Falmer. Simple as that. It also means that you are related to those creatures that seem to infest the now empty cities. No. No, I cannot accept that. I will not. It is simply not possible. Not possible that they and I share the same blood. course it is, you fool. The Falmer's current state may hide their former glory, but it cannot change the truth of their lineage. Or yours. Why? Why did they not leave the orb alone? It poisoned them, cursed them somehow. Every last one. It's the only explanation. What we did could not have transformed them so. What brought them to this state had to be something else. It had to be the orb. It makes me wonder. Had we known what they would become, would we have given them quarter from the Nords? Cursed by the orb, routed by the Nords, and blinded by the Dwemer. It would appear that they were a doomed people, no matter what choice they made. Cursed by the orb. Cursed by the orb. By new medium. Cursed by the orb. The Sidjiks. They didn't steal my hope. Rather, they spared me. And not just me, but everyone in the college. Ah, Szenac, you fool. How could you not see that until now? If I had begun to experiment on the orb, I almost certainly would have unlocked the very same magics that corrupted the Falmer. Unless it's too late. After all, that same cursed blood runs through my veins. Am I to become as they are? Or will my half-blood spare me? I guess only time will tell. I wonder. Perhaps Mother would know. No, how could she? These cursed Falmer are well after her time. Speaking of, the Velothi Trial Chambers. Oh, Mother. How did you end up here? Surely bearing the child of a slave couldn't have been cause enough to pass a judgment so severe as death. You were hardly the first Dwemer to commit adultery, with a slave or not. So what was it? What did you do? No matter how comfortable the surroundings. I do not regret my actions, for one night of forbidden passion, forbidden love, is worth 1,000 lifetimes of neglect and contempt, no matter how comfortable the surroundings. Those were her words. That is what she wrote. Her husband. It had to be. She mentioned state affairs. He must have been a priest. Only the priest handled state-related business. Was he so wicked and jealous a man as to sentence her to the trials for judgment? Was he so cowardly that he would abuse our system of justice, washing his hands and clearing his conscience by letting it do his dirty work? But it has to be. He would not have been able to kill her outright himself, because as a priest, he would have been far too public a figure. That being the case, he would have had to have waited for me to be born, because he would have known that a judgment of death would never have been carried out upon a woman with child. He could have, however, as a priest, had her placed under house arrest until she gave birth. that would have allowed him the time he would have needed to figure out how to get rid of her baby, me, as well as build a case against her and her lover. I bet that's what he did. Oh, it just makes my blood boil. It just... Oh. But how he must have been furious when he found out the babe was gone. That I was smuggled right out from under his nose. Oh, Mother. I hope I understood you correctly. I hope you're here.
You must calm yourself, Szenac. You must learn to dance.